Hi, this is Zoe Alvarado, and this is Odessa After Dark for June 10th, 2013. On this episode, Daniel Ryan interviews El Paso filmmaker Christopher Jones about his work and his open casting held in Odessa. And Spencer interviews Latricia Williams for Juneteenth and the celebration about to start tomorrow in Midland. And now Christopher Jones.
Hello.
Tick tock, man. Time is moving.
Ya mero, güey, cálmate.
Yo, I don't want to hear that, yo. Hurry it up. Get it done.
We are exiting right now.
Yo, there's a storm moving in, all right? Time is of the essence. Hurry up.
Simón ese.
All right, cool.
Mátame, patos too much.
Hi, I'm Daniel Ryan with Odessa After Dark. I'm here with filmmaker Christopher Jones. Hi, Christopher. How's you doing today? Right. Today you came to Odessa to do a casting call and to take some photos for what you call New Hero Pictures.
Yes, that's my company. We wanted to try and, I live in El Paso, and I have some family that lives here in Odessa and Midland, and they're always telling me how come I don't come film and take pictures here. So we're kind of, the show originated in El Paso, but you know, we're all kind of one. I think we're all connected at some point, so we wanted to make it more of a regional show instead of just El Paso. So we wanted to come and see the talented people here and you know, give them the same opportunity that we have over there.
Well, let's talk about New Hero Pictures. So what was the inspiration behind forming your own picture company?
Well, New Hero Pictures, I'm really big into the action movies, the hero movies, and you know, I'm going back to like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and I just feel like in today's world there really hasn't been those guys that kind of I guess, you know, like Rocky and Terminator, like those big, really big action movies. So I thought that, you know what, there should be that was really never a Hispanic looking guy. So I thought, well, hey, maybe I can be like the new hero on the block someday. And so that's why it's called New Hero Pictures, and that's really what inspired it.
So one question you ask everybody is what their dream is. So, right. Christopher, what is your dream?
Well, my dream is just to become an actor. That's really what I enjoy most. And I know sometimes it's hard, you know, I look kind of like a gangster sometimes, I guess, or a cholo-looking dude, and so it's really hard. I've tried casting before in other films, and you know, I just didn't really fit the profile. So you know, it really is acting, but at the same time, I've kind of developed a liking to everything, and just movies in general. Movies is really my dream. So regardless of what I'm doing in it, it's just it's really what motivates me, and that's kind of how I you know, I really believe in them, and I really believe that you know, we can kind of live life through them, and I think everybody can kind of relate to them, and that's why we like them so much. So I really just try to do that, and hopefully kind of send the message or send messages through my products. And I guess just, you know, my dream is just really making movies and hoping that people can get that same feeling that I get from them. You know what I mean?
The people that you've used so far in your shows in El Paso, do any of them come with a theater background or a movie background, or these people that you went out and discovered, like, right, hey, I want you to be in my show?
A lot of them, you know, I want to say more than half of them are just everyday people, you know, my neighbor, my friends. You know, that's kind of what we're known for in El Paso for, is just really giving anybody the opportunity. A lot of people don't think it's possible, so we like to be the ones that show them that. But a lot of them have already kind of done, I guess it's more, it could either be theater, but a lot of them do a lot of commercials. There's a lot of commercials that go on in El Paso, and that's kind of how they get their acting experience, or their extras, and that's kind of how they're introduced. There's always a lot of bigger productions. You know, you always hear, like, I know you guys had the Friday Night Lights, so things like that have happened in El Paso, like Glory Road, things like that, and they, so people, I guess that's kind of like their introduction to it. So, you know, it's not that they're completely unexperienced, but, you know, there's just, it's not really just one thing, you know what I mean? Theater, I know there's a little bit of theater that goes on there, but it's still a small community.
So tell me about your website, because if I went to your website, I would see a trailer for, say, a movie called Clean Sweep.
Right.
So I guess tell me about the website and then tell me about Clean Sweep.
Okay, if you go to my website, it's really more of a kind of a big reel. It has a lot of my projects. Right now we have the TV show going on. We have my feature, which is Clean Sweep, and then we're working on a reboot of my original film. It was called Where One Stands. We did it back in 2007, and that was kind of an original concept that we had to it, not what you actually see on the DVD. So we're taking that, and we're going to go back and do that and kind of take it more as a short film to kind of hope get funding to make it another feature. And so if you go on the website, you'll see different things like that. You'll also see some photography samples, stuff like that. And if anybody has any questions, obviously you'll see my contact info. And then
or any money.
Right. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Yes. Sponsors are always welcome, right? But no, and then Clean Sweep, it's a movie that we've been working on for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's kind of been the big one for me. You know, I did my first film in 2007, so I kind of figured I kind of knew everything that I did wrong or wanted to make better. So Clean Sweep has kind of been the big sequel in its own, and you know, that's really why it takes so long, because you know I work with a lot of people that, you know, they have their families and their jobs and school, and they're not available 24/7. So you know, if you know, for example, if you and I were available but camera guy isn't, you know, then we have to wait and we have to book it another weekend. So it's a number of factors that can stretch it out. And for me, I mean, I really don't, you know, you want to set deadlines sometimes, they don't work out, but I just kind of learned that if I really want it to be the best or to make it as best that I can, I mean, I really just don't put any time limits. So yeah.
So are you a hard critic on yourself when it comes to these projects?
I am, especially when I edit. It takes me a lot longer to edit something that's mine as opposed to somebody else, because you're just nitpicking and I'm hearing things, and yeah, so I mean, it's not that, you know, I'm like, oh man, this is bad, but it's just perfecting it. And I really like, you know, one of the things that I'm like, music is a big part of my process. So like, I'll have the entire soundtrack, you know, done before I even start shooting, or I try to. And if I don't, then that's when it kind of gets a little harder on myself, or I'm a little harder on myself, because I'm, you know, the music is what helps me write, shoot, direct, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just, it's a lot of planning. So I think that I want to say that usually I kind of have it under control, but it's just a lot of, it takes a lot of time, a lot of process.
Well, okay, going back to Clean Sweep, how would I put this best? How does it feel being a badass? Because if anybody goes to the website and watches it, I mean, you know, you've written the role, so you're a badass. Right.
Well, I'm a big guy, you know, but I can move around sometimes, and we like a lot of action choreography and stuff, and that's really what I like, you know. And a lot of people that meet me, you know, sometimes they'll see me and they don't think I can do that kind of stuff. So, but what's cool about making your own project is that you can do whatever you want, you know, and give yourself the character, or the name, or the situations that you want. So it's kind of fun, and I think that again, I've worked really hard on just trying to get the audience to, if they do see me in that role, you know, even despite the physical, you know, I'm not like The Rock or anything like that. It's like they still believe me as a character, and so, you know, we try not to make it too crazy. You know, we don't know how to do the Matrix stuff or anything like that, but you know, we keep it within reason, but to make it fun, and I think that's what really helps, and people believe it.
So tell me about today's process. How was that for you? Because you met about 20 people?
Yes, met 20 people. I guess most of them were through the West Texas Talent, and it's really awesome, and there's a lot of talent here. I mean, I was really impressed. And a lot of singers, a lot of really great singers out there, and it makes me want to sing, you know. But no, that was really cool, and the way I have my castings, you know, I really even hate branding it as a casting call. It's more of just an interview process. We invite people to come, we share our story with them as to what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then we turn around and ask them, you know, what their dreams are, what their expectations are, and you know, from there, it's more of it's almost kind of like a, you know, like kind of going to a therapist or something. They're just telling us all this stuff, and in my head I'm already thinking, you know, stories and characters, and that's really how I write.
Well, because you asked some real personal questions,
right,
of some of the people.
Right, and I think that's, I mean, we had one girl that was just, you know, she even had some tears coming down, and I think that's what's important, and that's what I use in my work, is that everybody's got a story to tell, everybody wants their story told. So when you start to kind of dig for that and bring that out, I mean, that's kind of how people grow a lot closer to each other. And it really kind of shows their passion even more for something. So it's like, that's what I like to pull that, and then I like to use that in the process, in the show, in the movie, and I mean, that's where they shine. You know?
Now here's the footage from the casting.
Chills out, emotions, and, you know, has that ever happened to you before? just in an honest situation, you ever had a guy who do that to you or break your heart really bad?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
She pulled.
Pull up with my wife, and it's kind of like the first big one we've ever had. So I'm having dinner, and I'm seeing this go on. So I am seeing everything that's going to happen, but I'm way in the distance. But it's kind of a realization of like, I kind of want it to be over-exaggerated, like over-exaggerated pain. Like, you know, like maybe this guy's been doing it for years, you know what I mean? And it's that realization of, you know, is that what's to become of my marriage? Is that what everybody else is going through? I mean, it's one of those scenes, so I really wanted to just like jolt out with the emotion.
He said, if you dare come a little closer, around and around and around and around.
You. Is that not enough?
Enough for what?
For whatever, or whoever it is that you're doing. I've done everything. And it's like, I don't even exist.
What are we doing here? I take you to a nice restaurant, give you a nice meal.
What? Let's talk about you now. What are your dreams?
My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you, well, I found a dream that I will not tell me.
People want more information as far about your work. Where would they go?
More information, if it's about the show is called Another Kind of Hero. They can just look that up on YouTube. Just type in Another Kind of Hero and it'll pop up. My website is called thenewhero.com, and you can just find me there. You can email me there. Phone number, if you guys need to call me or anybody asks questions, anybody's welcome. My number is 915-356-9371. And that's about it, man. Not really hard to find, man. I think if you Google me, you know, Christopher Jones El Paso, probably my Facebook or my website will show up. So
Your MySpace still shows up.
really? Holy cow! So yeah, what's that?
So you know, Christopher's been in it for a while.
Yeah, it's
He's
been a
still
long
got
time.
MySpace.
It's been about.
You haven't updated in a while.
It's been, you know, I think I got really serious, or when I actually started trying to make a movie was back in 2001. So it's been a long time. It's been a little over a decade, you know, just trying, and it really takes a lot of time. It's patience, and I still have a lot to learn. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay. Well, thank you for having this time with us.
No, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Spencer, and this is Odessa After Dark. We are at the MLK Center in Midland, Texas. I will be interviewing with Letitia Williams for Juneteenth 2013, Back to Basics. Miss Letitia, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
I'm really good to see you, and I'm loving your hair. How long have we been celebrating Juneteenth in Midland?
We've been celebrating for 41 years.
41 years. And this year would be the second year for the new committee?
It is the second year.
Woohoo! We love the new committee. Back in the day, we used to have a good time, Juneteenth. Yeah. And then it kind of just, I don't know, was it the parents that kind of died down, or if we just stopped really feeling like it was important to celebrate, or I don't know, we kind of let it fade away. But I'm really glad that we have a new committee with young blood, and we're bringing it back, and my kids are excited. And as people our age, what does it mean to you, Juneteenth?
Juneteenth is a time of celebration, I believe, but it's also a time of remembrance. Not only remembering our history as far as the struggle, but I think it's important to remember the triumph.
Texas was was the last state actually to let our slaves know that we were free. And it was actually 2 years after the emancipation that we knew that we were free. Why do you think that was so?
I think it was for a lot of reasons. Geographically, Texas is a large state. Also, when you look at the system of slavery, it was designed to keep us in the dark about things. So we didn't have communication as we have now. Families were split apart, and when they were, you didn't know where they were. So it wasn't like your cousin that left a couple of years ago would come back and tell you.
Or call you on your cell phone and be like, girl, we free. I'm just saying, girl, call your mama, we free.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. I mean, we were kept illiterate.
Yeah.
You know, so we were kept from even the modes of communication that were available.
Basically handicapped.
Exactly.
So that we would.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and because of the system, we knew what we were told. And so when they felt like telling us, they told us. And we knew.
And that's when we knew. And that's when we broke free. Almost 150 years later. Tell me why you think it's still important for us to celebrate Juneteenth.
As I mentioned before, I believe it's important to not only remember the struggle, but the triumph. And if you look at even our educational system today, you knew when we were in school how much of our history in our classroom was devoted to African American history. And the part that we did go over was slavery. You knew that we were slaves, but we didn't know much about it.
And you got that look like you were still a slave because you were the only black girl in your class? You know what I'm talking about. And I kind of looked over like, oh, you free.
So I think it's very important because if you look at what's being done in our educational system, they're practically rewriting history, rewriting the textbooks, leaving very important factors out.
Right.
So it's important that we pass this information on to our next generation. Make sure that they are aware. Even as we move to a more multicultural society, it's important that we keep in mind everyone's contribution to society. So I believe that's why it's important.
Letitia, in your opinion, what's the important message that Juneteenth brings to our younger generation?
Okay. In my opinion, our younger generation know next to nothing.
And I agree with your opinion.
And I think it's important because that old adage that you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. And by not knowing your history, you don't know that important piece. You don't know the struggles that we overcame. You don't know what you're capable of. I think there's an identification that's missing. And because it's missing, our youth are identifying with the wrong things. And I think if, like our theme this year, back to basics, self plus family equals community, if we return back to those basic precepts, the fundamentals, I think that that will go a long ways as far as helping our youth and developing our youth the way that they should be.
And by fundamentals, going back to basics, meaning building our black families, as far as loving self, you know, is that the message that we're trying to get out, is self-love, or?
Yeah,
you know?
it is. And I mean, that's a theme that, you know, it's transferable beyond just the African American community, a community as a whole, as a nation. I know that I'm misquoting this, but there's a proverb that says the ruin of a nation begins in the house. So if we return back to those basic things, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our household, taking care of our families, which will impact our communities, I think that will go a long ways.
Okay, Ms. Letitia, tell me how and why you became involved in Juneteenth.
I think we all get nostalgic around this time of year, Juneteenth, thinking about what it was and what it used to be. And it got to a point where I really didn't go to Juneteenth very much, or not for very long. And I had a couple of friends, a couple of guy friends of mine and we would get together and we would call them meetings of the mind. And we would just brainstorm and say what we would like to see and what we would like to do, and so on and so forth. So after a couple of years of doing that, we kind of put together a little plan of action. And we posted a survey on Facebook just asking people their opinion of Juneteenth and what types of activities they would like to see as part of a Juneteenth festival. And we shared that amongst each other and kind of came up with some ideas, and one person knew another person that had some ideas, and it was just a matter of getting us together. And we did that. One of one of the people in our group that was a part of from the very beginning, the strategy, is also a part of the Lions Club. And as we know, the Lions Club has pretty much had the responsibility of Juneteenth since its inception. And he was fresh face, so to speak.
Okay.
And brought some ideas, and they were very receptive and wanted to hear what young people had to say. I think for a long time there was a perception that there were some people that didn't want young people to speak, but that was not the case. They accepted us and our ideas with open arms and pretty much gave us free rein last year to implement our ideas, and I believe we pretty much hit everything right on the head as far as our survey findings, as far as what people wanted. And we were very pleased last year with the turnout and with the feedback that we got, almost all of it positive, and so that made us look very forward to this year. The feeling that we all talked about, that we shared, it was unbelievable, especially as the end of the events that Sunday. It's like everything had a divine order. It was just like magical. And so we were pumped for this year. So we were very excited, brought a couple of new people on board, and looking forward to another successful Juneteenth. We are looking for volunteers. That's one area where we're really lacking, is volunteers. Community support is there. People want to come, people want to see it go well, but volunteers is what we need.
And even though the big event starts Thursday night, it will not be too late for you to volunteer, so come out and volunteer, volunteer, volunteer.
Volunteer.
Okay, Ms. Letitia, let's go over some of the activities we have scheduled for Juneteenth, because I am really, really, really excited. It kind of takes me back in the day where there was just like things going on over here, things going on the baseball field. You know, you didn't really know where you wanted to go, and you got home late and you got a whooping, but you really didn't care.
Right.
So, tell me what's gonna make us just want to go to Washington Park and be like, oh, I'm uber excited for Juneteenth.
Okay. Having the pageant as our kickoff event, it was the first time, at least in my recollection, that we had an event like we had last year with the pageant. We had an art show, which we'll have this year, our Art and Soul art show. There'll be vendors. We'll have a meal, a dinner during the pageant. The importance of the pageant is that it highlights youth and youth achievement. It's for high school students, and it's a scholarship pageant. It's a way for them to earn money to go to school.
Okay, Midland, let me tell you something. We're getting ready to have a dating game for Juneteenth. Dating game, get your lipstick, your stilettos, your suit and ties. It's hot. I don't know suit and ties. Miss Letitia, with this dating game, will we have a black Chuck Woolery?
They will be black.
Okay. Will they be 6'5" and bald-headed?
Probably not.
Okay, see? All right, I'm gonna try it anyway. So, how'd you guys come about this dating game?
Well, we thought it would be something fun. Everybody's talking about there's nobody in Midland. It's hard to meet people in Midland. And we thought that this would be a fun way to make some connections for people to locate their love. But it's all in fun. The winners, or the ones chosen, will get a dinner for two. And basically it's like the old dating game where you'll have one person asking the question, and then you'll have them to choose from 3 eligible contestants who will be revealed after they make their choice.
Oh.
And we'll have one segment for the females and one segment for the males. Females have been very vocal. It's an application process. We do have them to submit an application. That way we can make it even.
Exactly.
But we haven't had as many men to.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
but
good.
the females have come out, and I'm very pleased to say that they're all beautiful and intelligent.
Hallelujah.
And yes, so men, get on.
Men, where are you? I know you're here. The oil is here. The money is here. You are here. Okay, Miss Letitia, wrapping up this session, let's, I think the highlight of Juneteenth myself would be the teen block party. Why? I love working with teens. I was an at-risk teen myself. So it's very important to me that we take our teens and just kind of just love on them, you know, and embrace them and let them know that they're important. They're our future. You know, so I think this is a really good idea, the teen block party. We kind of know where our kids are. They're going to be in one spot. That's a good thing, you know. We'll kind of cut out the fighting and, you know, just kind of bring in some unity. And so how do you feel about the teen block party?
The teen block party is a very important part of Juneteenth. For one thing, it's important that the youth feel like they have their space in Juneteenth. They're part of Juneteenth. And the block party is their space. They can do battle rap, they can do freestyle, slam poetry, anything that they want to do, and we have adults there to supervise to make sure that things don't get out of hand. It's a way to separate them from the adults. In the adult entertainment, they have their own music, their own stage, and it's in an environment where we make sure that they're not out of hand with the dancing, that the language doesn't get out of hand. The music is the cleaner versions of the music. So it's a way for them to have their freedom, have their space. As you mentioned, their parents know where they are, for them to be with their friends, to hang out, but it's in one confined, controlled space and clean environment. Yes.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
And I love you, sister.
Love you too.
And we will be doing more interviews
In the house.
Hello.
Dismiss. Everybody, wrap that up. Hey. Happy Juneteenth to everybody.